Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. This week, it's just going to be us three. Karen is out doing her own thing, and so we're going to keep it pretty short and simple. We're not near as organized as we are this week as we are previous weeks because Karen has just the lovely job of getting all the comments together of who's where. But we did get a few people down. But welcome to the podcast, and we're going to keep it pretty relaxed today. So, Karen, what's your name?
I'm Karen from Ozone Adventures, and it's good rockhounding weather. Terrible weather for rockhounding.
Thank you, Karen. It sure is rainy where you're at. Kurt?
My name is Kurt with Rock.Hounding.Adventures out in Western Colorado. And Theo?
This week, my name is Dave, and my channel is Here But Not Present.
Welcome, Dave.
Thank you. It's glad to be here. Present. Here.
It's been a while, Dave.
It has been quite a while. Mild.
And,
it has been quite some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm Mild Kyle with World of Rock Hounds here in Oregon. And it looks... Did you get a new hat?
I did. The other one had to get retired, so we've got our beautiful Montana hat.
Nice.
It's
Did you do the...
fairly ruined with dust spattering at me.
It's going to happen.
And always, all of my hats, like the moment I get them, like within a week, they'll have just this line of like permanently stained white from all the slurry from both my tile saw and my Dremel. So yeah, I very quickly ruin hats.
That's why you have a work hat. You just take one off, put the other one on, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's what I should do.
And then, so like I said, Karen is out rock hounding, and so she left us to be as organized as we possibly could.
Which turns out is not very.
No. Yeah. So we're probably going to double down on shout outs next week when she's back, but I did get a few. So we had Dustin from Dustin Find Rocks in Missouri. He was kind of hanging out in the comment section since he couldn't quite join the live chat just yet. So, we got you, Dustin. We see you.
I see you.
We got Unverified Bear, which is a great YouTube name, by the way, from London, UK. Michelle in Ontario, Canada. And then I did want to point out a comment from number one catfish hunter Miller. He pointed out a section of audio in the last week's podcast from with Tyler. And he thought for sure he had heard a ghostly audio thing because none of our mouths were moving. And the way that it was said, it sounded like, I forgot what he thought he heard, but
it was like something.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit of working, and again, I'll play the clip here in a second, but I was able to figure out what it was, and it was Tyler. He had whispered what he was talking, but the distorted video made it look like his mouth wasn't moving. And I had showed Amy the clip, and she was freaked out. She's like, "What?" But a little bit editing, I just improved the audio, and you figured it out.
Oh man, I might have to pick two because I've got two. I might have to pick two because I've got two. Oh man, I might have to pick two because I've got two.
It was Tyler.
I had to watch it quite a few times. I was like, "Is that Tyler?" Yeah, it sounds like him, but maybe not because none of like you said, none of our mouths were moving at all. It was kind of creepy.
A little bit. And then we do have Sandmaker. He was in Gainesville, Georgia last week, making his rounds. Who knows? He might be Santa Claus. He might be making sure all the kids are good this year before Christmas comes around. So that's why he's traveling all over the place. You may never know.
I mean, that's like you can use Occam's razor and figure out that is the most logical explanation.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I don't think anything else makes more sense than that explanation.
Yeah, I think our other guess was he's secretly crystal collector. Oh.
yeah.
I think that was Sorry, my brain's a little boom, gone.
It's all good.
So, I think that's how we all are.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's the name that I went with today.
But so those are kind of our brief shout outs. Again, we'll double up next week when our awesome person who can find all those and writes them down. You guys get stuck with the rest of us as organized. But yeah, so how was everyone's weeks and current projects, future projects, etc.? Kurt?
Well, this week I've gotten out on a couple of hikes and just kind of seen the fall colors, which has been really beautiful. And haven't really gone on any like rock hounding hunts. Every place we've gone hiking, it's just been mainly like basalt or sandstone. I haven't really found pretty much anything else to hunt for. So I've just been taking hundreds of pictures of the fall colors and so forth. And for future projects, I plan on taking a piece of druzy quartz from Dozen Fine Rocks and doing a polishing video on it, which you will see that a little bit later when we do show and tell. And I also plan on doing a couple of videos, maybe just like showing the tools that I use and so forth, just trying to, I guess, get a different perspective on different tools and what they can be used for and so forth. But that's pretty much all that I have going here. What about you, Dave?
I was like, ooh, I got so confused for a second there. It's been busy. It's been hectic, and I forgot what sleep quite looks like.
What is that?
Yeah, I know it's a foreign concept at this point, but just been kind of trying to decompress after all of the Renfest stuff, which now that it's over, I have to go through and photograph everything individually, like 10 pictures of each item, so that I can then make a listing for each item individually on my store, which has taken forever. And that's been like the last 2 weeks of work and then just tidying stuff up and whatnot. But it's been busy. Been getting out hunting as much as possible, like every Monday, pretty much, except for this Monday because it's gonna be 40 degrees.
Yikes!
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It was 85 last Monday, so 3 days ago. 4 when this comes out. This Monday is 40, like 2, I think. It's snowing, and I'm like, no, I'm not done with fall yet. Please don't come here, winter. But we got out and did some fossil hunting Monday, and found some good stuff. Lots of baculites, but actually a lot of amazing stuff that I will be showing in the show and tell, and that'll be coming out soon. I keep trying to keep track of all I've been gone for so long. It's like, oh man, what all have I been up to? Lots and lots. Making eggs, making conch shell horns, polishing abalone, prepping fossils, polishing Petoskey stones. Man, just a little bit of everything lately. Cabbing, slabbing, doing some silversmithing.
It's a day in the life of a rock shop.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, that's just the norm on any given week, but then you like getting ready for a festival where you're running a booth, and that all just gets condensed down into like a month span where you've got to like mass produce stuff, and it's crazy. It's tiring.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
and especially with having to photograph everything. That's
yeah.
I've been there. I've done that, and I'm sorry.
It's not fun. Just to put it in perspective for anyone that doesn't have like a store posting stuff. So each item you have to take pictures of individually, like multiple pictures so you can show every angle. then you have to make a listing for it. And those listings take easily like 5 to 20 minutes, depending on what it is, because you're writing out descriptions and getting measurements and weights and stuff like that. So to put that in perspective, 5 to 15 or 5 to 20 minutes per listing, I had 197 items to list.
Wow.
And still find time to edit videos somewhere in there. So it's been very busy.
Whenever you list them, do you use your phone or a computer?
I use my computer. I tried doing it on my phone, but my phone like clips out and it gets touchy sometimes.
It's so annoying. Like I recently opened up an Etsy store for me, and it's so annoying on my phone because like when you pull it up, like a little window pops up, and if you accidentally like press up a little too much, everything that you uploaded, you typed out, just disappears.
It's just
like,
gone.
No! Yeah.
Yep. So I've gotten to the point where I just don't do it on my phone anymore because Etsy does not like my phone, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, that would drive me at the wall. I'd be like, no, no thanks. Pay someone else to do it.
Yeah. So if anyone wants some of the cool stuff that I made for the Renfest, I am doing a sale for all of that stuff in the next. I don't have a start date. I'm still listing everything. As soon as I get everything listed, I'll make an announcement about it. But yeah, so like those cool eggs that I sent you guys for show and tell, those will all be for sale. No one bought the Septarian, so someone can call dibs on that.
Nice.
I'll definitely be checking. I'll definitely be checking it out.
Yeah, and then we can also post a link here in the description of this video. So be sure to get me that so we can put that in.
I can definitely do that.
Anything else? Future projects?
Future projects. I have a couple actually.
Secret future projects?
One of them is very secret that I can't talk about. But what's the date? It is
7th.
The 7th. So in exactly 1 month, you will know. Well, you'll know roughly a little before that, but you'll get to see what I'm referring to in exactly 1 month.
Ooh.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I wonder what that could be.
It's exciting.
We're excited.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Other than that, bunch of fossil prepping, and I have to get a hold of Montana Rock Mom so I can go over and use her giant slab saw. Because I have a bunch of teepee canyons that are way too big for any of my saws. So other than that, that's what's about it right now. Sorry, Kurt, what were you going to say?
No, I it just clicked in my brain what you were talking about. And so
yeah,
it's
going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you know.
It took a second.
It's going to be good, and it is not something. The thing that I am doing is not something I have ever done on the channel, so I'm excited to show everyone. It's going to be cool.
Could you purr any louder?
I can try.
Sorry, Tucker's up here just chilling out, and it's either that or him ugly meowing until he gets attention.
I was wondering if he was the one at the door. I wasn't sure if that was River or not.
Now, River is now asleep. No, I came home earlier today, and Tucker just nonstop ugly meowed the moment I came in the door, and it's not like a meow pause. It's like constant. I'm like, dude, I just walked in the door. Chill.
That's what mine does.
But now he's just rolling, and he's just now rolling all over the desk, exposing his belly. He's like, pet me. Yeah, this week is I would say a little productive. I got some mail earlier this week, which is going to be a future video. I got some amber from Yarrick.
Same here.
Yeah. So I'm working on that. That was going to be my show and tell today, but I decided to do something else instead. So that will probably be next week's show and tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never really worked amber before, so that's been kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm afraid to touch it because I still need to figure out what to do, and I don't want to ruin it. So I'm going to be messaging him later this week. Like, how do I not break it?
I did have one piece break, but it was a natural fracture, and I'll probably cover that in a future video. And where it broke is kind of interesting. I kind of want to see if I can get someone with a microscope that can take a picture of it. But where it broke, there was 2 bugs, and there was a fracture where those 2 bugs are at, and so it actually left an imprint of its wings.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I have to be careful, like, not to ruin it.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, oh, maybe it broke and like it didn't actually reach the bugs, and I can just glue the piece back together. I'm like, no, I don't want to ruin it. So it's gonna be a nice little display piece. But it would be cool to get some like really close-up shots and like get that picture framed and have that piece with the picture. Like, look how cool this is.
Heck yeah.
And then I finished my video this week, which will be my show and tell tonight of my Fire Obsidian pendant. I'm not wearing it yet because I still have to get it on its lanyard. But I kind of rushed to get that done. And I finished editing for that video at 1 o'clock in the morning of the day that's supposed to come out. And so it was definitely a last by the graze of my knuckles to get it done. Dude, don't rub your face on the microphone.
That's normal.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that's another thing that I've been working on. I got apparently people just talk to each other amongst themselves before deciding to send stuff to Theo, because I got fossils from 3 different people all within the same like 3 weeks. So I got baculites and ammonites from Michael Van Dyke. I got the amber from Yark, and then you guys watch Wild Kyle, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've had it on.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you've seen Derek the Rockmaster in his videos?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's in a lot of his videos. They go hunting together a lot. Well, Derek sent me a box of Agonized Coral, which I was super excited about.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, last time I went down. Well, some of them are already cut open and polished.
Okay.
But some of them are raw, and I'm so excited to cut them. I'm so excited.
Gonna be cool.
Like, I'm so amped up. So
is it that black coral?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, it's the black, and it's super. It's so pretty, and it's super. It like reacts so strongly with the UV light. Like it just looks.
Sorry,
man, he is on something.
Oh,
it's fine. I relate so much to that. My cats do that constantly.
He's like, oh man, that's a nice belly rub. I'd be ashamed if I fell off the edge. I saved your life.
But yeah, it's like black and white with like little hints of blue, and then you hit it with a black light, and out of nowhere, there's just vibrant fortification patterns throughout the whole thing. Like you hit that black agonized coral with a black light, and it changes so much. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna have a fossil unboxing coming up here pretty soon.
Cool. Nice. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Let's see. I think that's kind of it for my week, though. As far as future projects, just customer projects, more and more.
Do you have any more classes?
No more classes scheduled this week. I did have a returning student come back, and she just had me work on some stuff with her friends, because they didn't really have time to take a class. So I told them I can go ahead and just do some work for you guys really quick, no big deal. And so I worked on some opal from, I think here in Oregon, some of that fire opal.
Ooh,
and then
nice.
It turned out really nice. And I ran out of time, so they actually ended up leaving, but it left a couple pieces for me to work on. So that shouldn't take me very long to get that done. But yeah, just doing projects and looking forward to more classes. I did have someone reach out that they would like to have a virtual class, and I haven't done one of those before, so I might give it a try and see how well it does. And if that's the case, then it could open me up to teach laboratory classes virtually. So
I think you should, and then you should let me do one, because I need you to teach me how to polish obsidian. I've learned that I'm not good at it.
The biggest thing with polishing obsidian is to know your wheels. Any ideas what that means?
No,
I don't, because I don't have a calving machine. I just have a faceting machine that I use as a flat lab, which is probably frowned upon.
Well, in that case, I'll give you guys a little side lesson. Basically, I use that term, know your wheels. And if you're working with Obsidian, get a test piece and just work each stage and dry out the stone and see what the result of that wheel is going to leave on that surface. And do that with all the wheels. Start at your roughest, the rough stage, and work your way to the finest stages. And if you're finding scratches from a more lower grit stage, that means there's an issue somewhere between that lower grit and the higher grit that you kind of figure out. So if you can know your wheels, that helps.
Gotcha.
That's why it helps to have test pieces, so you can not ruin your most expensive piece.
Right. Yeah.
But if you do use a test piece, especially with Obsidian, use a like for like piece. If you're trying to do something nice with Rainbow Obsidian, work with Rainbow. I say that because a long time ago I did a knife handle out of silver sheened Obsidian, which is not so much as the solid layers, but the actual the micro bubbles in the sheen, and it polished faster and worked faster than any other Obsidian, because I think it has something to do with the amount of actual surface area there is on that piece, and it was interesting. I can't explain it. So if you're gonna work with one, use a practice piece of the same material.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I do that with carving as well.
Test your bits.
Yeah. I need to replace all of mine after I just remembered that.
Yeah.
I need to get all new bits, because the koi that I carved from that thunder egg that Rookie sent me,
it probably just burned right through them, didn't it?
Dude, that stuff destroyed my diamond burrs. Now I was going no pressure, under constant, not a drip, but a literal water flow on top of the stuff the whole time. And I probably averaged about an hour to 2 hours per burr before they were bald or balding. That stuff absolutely destroyed my burrs.
One thing is as far as knowing your wheels, that same principle can be applied to polishing wheels for metals. I learned a lesson with my Pendant.
Yep.
And I kept dwelling over it. I'm like, what could have caused that? I think what had happened was I had used those wheels to polish steel. And since steel is harder than sterling silver, I'm pretty sure what was ever in that polishing wheel transferred over. Either it's on the wheel or it's on the worn rouge bar. They got in there, so I'm gonna have to probably cut out that rouge bar and start over.
Oh man, that sucks.
Because
I've learned that lesson the hard way before.
Because normally I've never had an issue with getting a high gloss polish with sterling silver, or even when I do my buck knives, I can get a pretty decent polish on the steel. And for whatever reason, I polished that thing 10 times. And I was getting that same result and getting new scratches. I'm like, this is getting my OCD. And it was bugging me bad. And it's so. I mean, at least it's done. But at some point, I will have to repolish the surface, which is, again, it's not a big deal. The stone is already set in place. And it's not like people are going to be like, let me see the back of your necklace. That's not the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Stone is the point.
I got some flack from a few people in my last video where I made cabs a year or two ago, because I don't polish the bottoms of cabs if they're going in a ring, because you don't.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's just a waste of time. Depending on the size of the cab and the ring it's going into, if it's a solid backed cab or cup that it's going into, unless the stone comes out, no one's ever going to see that.
Yep. Exactly.
I will for some stones though, Montana agates that are kind of clear. You definitely want to polish the back, because if you can see through it, you'll just see all those scratch marks reflected on the back.
You don't want that.
But I mean, anything opaque, you don't really need to. If I'm doing a prong setting, I will, but I don't know. That's just me. A bunch of people were calling me like taking shortcuts. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm taking shortcuts. Of course I'm taking shortcuts.
Well, that's why on the rare occasion I polish Obsidian for someone, I polish a few pieces that either have the color flash or even have fire in it. I'm like, look, I will not polish the whole thing. I will polish where the flash is, and that's it.
Yeah, I get that.
For me, it's like you can have a nice, beautiful black piece of the whole thing polished, but one, it just takes too long, and if a project's taking too long, like that's money that's starting to go out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily it's not my full-time job. I mean, I wish it could be, but like if I'm spending too long on a project, then it's like, come on, I can't have it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Without spoiling my show and tell too much, that's actually one of the beauties. You could stop at like 800 grit on these, and that's considered polished because that's not where they get the polish from. That you're just basically trying to close everything off and make a level layer. I'll shut up. I'll explain more. I'm gonna just. There's no way. There's no way of. I know, right? There's no way of going on with what I was about to say without just going into show and tell. So I might as well just wait, and I'll just remind me to talk about that because there's literally no way. Just never mind. Yeah, remind me to mention that. What I was referring to.
So Kurt, do you ever have to polish any of your wire wrappings?
I don't actually. Are you talking about like the polish or the wire itself or the
just the wire itself? Because sometimes you can get like fingerprints and stuff like on the wire.
Yeah, most of the time, like whenever I do wrapping, I don't polish the stone and polish the wire unless like when you're trying to like turn the wire or something and you get like a deep scuff or scratching and it's right there on the front and it's noticeable, then I'll take like a high grit sandpaper and just buff it a couple of times back and forth, and it normally takes that scratch right out. But most of the time I just keep them as is. I want to get some of that stuff that we were talking about like an episode or two ago that you dip wire in and it what's it called? I can't remember what Karen called it.
So what is it?
Liver
of sulfur.
Yeah.
Yep.
That could help.
I want to do that to a couple.
It's like it's sulfur something.
I was thinking about that when I was polishing. I'm like, if I just did that, I wouldn't have to polish this at all.
Exactly.
I just get a nice sand on it.
All of it in.
Yeah, just get a nice sand on it. Not have to worry about the high polish, and just make it black.
I didn't know about that stuff specifically, so now I'm going to start using that stuff. But I've used what's it called? Ferrochloride, I think. Gun bluing solution.
Ooh.
Gunmetal bluing, and it works really well for certain metals. Certain metals it won't work on, but it does the same thing. It's just probably way harder. It's pretty though, like 'cause you get that nice like gunmetal blue color. It's gorgeous. It's really pretty.
That sounds pretty. I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
Yeah, I might look that up too.
Oh, speaking of wire wrapping, Kurt, I wanted to send you something because I want to see what you would want to do with a wire wrap out of it.
Sure.
So, how I was mentioning that we just went out to look for ammonites and we keep all the wedges we find, or was that before we started recording? Do they know what I'm talking about? Are viewers confused right now? I'm as
confused as you are.
Okay, well, when I go out and hostile hunt, I'll just restart just in case I didn't mention this in the podcast. This might have been part of the conversation before we started recording. Anyway, though, when we go out and fossil hunt, you usually find pieces of ammonite. And when I say pieces, I mean like wedges from an ammonite. And most people would discard those, but I always keep them because if they are calcified, they actually make awesome cabs, like so really cool. If you polish them up, you make like triangular cabochons or just shape them out because they'll maintain that that yellow and brown color and the suture lines. So I was thinking, how cool would it be one of those ammonite cabs wire wraps? I'm thinking that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I smell a collaboration.
So yeah, I might have to send you some pieces of Ammonite to play around with.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Well,
I would enjoy that. Sorry, I kind of looked away because my cat's sitting on my lap. And he's shedding a whole lot right now, so it's like he just jumped up, and I have this like wads of hair left on where he was sitting.
That's why mine get put. Oh, sorry, I'll let you go first.
Tucker found a hole on my hoodie that I just have to leave on the floor, and
no.
I'll probably have hair all over that too.
Mine are too pushy to be trusted out while I'm out here, because this is not a place I normally sit. It's just the most quiet spot for me to do this podcast. So if they are out and I am in this chair, they are all right here. Like, what are you doing? We don't normally hang out here. What's up, dude?
You're on here like once a week for about 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So when I sat down this week, they all just beelined over to me like, wait, what's happening? I don't like change.
Oh, I must be a cat then.
It's a very pushy cat and 2 very pushy dogs. 2 of the dogs and 1 of the 2 cats. Very pushy. Sai is doing his own thing at all times. He could care less.
Nice. So Theo, how was your several weeks of being away and all your Ren fairs that kept getting pushed out?
That's actually why I am running a sale, because it was so much fun. Like, it was a blast, and it got canceled last year. So everyone, it's its own community inside of Billings, and it's so much fun. And the people are so great, and everyone goes all out for it. But that being said, the main one got canceled. So we all were super bummed. It got canceled I think 10 days before it was supposed to happen. So I had already taken 3 or 4 weeks off of the podcast at that point. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I did not have to do any of that. I could have just stayed on, and I've been working till 10 p.m. every night for no reason. And then we got the email that they started up again, but it's going to be at a different location. We're like, all right, awesome, sweet. And then a week before that one starts, they're like, all right, it got canceled again, but we're going to do a marketplace instead of a festival. We're like, all right, it's better than nothing. But yeah, it was so much fun, but it was a far cry from without being too down on stuff. I did not at all get a return for the amount of time that I spent making stuff, which sucks, but it was a lot of fun. So that being said, that's why I'm running a sale. I do not like pushing my business with YouTube, but I don't know. There's some really cool stuff. I was planning on selling out, and I still have so much stuff left over. So it's like, all right, well, maybe some people out there would take interest in some gemstone eggs or prepped fossils or something. I don't know.
You never know.
I'm sure.
So did that booth cost you money to get set up, or was it kind of a free space?
It usually costs, for the festival, it costs a little bit, but since it got canceled twice, it was $30.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, we broke even pretty quick, but still.
I forgot how much it was. Portland either recently had a gem sale or they're going to, and the space fees are ridiculous. Hundreds.
That's why I do. Oh, sorry, what?
Hundreds of dollars, if not more.
Wow. The normal one, I think, is because we do the normal spaces are 10 by 10 foot by 10 foot, but we have so much stuff, and you can't compact rocks, so they take up a lot of space. Yep. So we always do a 10 foot by 20 foot booth, so we can just fit in more stuff. And that one, I think, is 170, so it's not bad.
I should send you a bunch of Crown Royal bags for packing.
Yeah, you should, actually. That's a great idea.
I literally have
the polished stuff.
I think it's a mixed variety of bags, but it's a full grocery bag just stuffed full.
That's awesome. Bags. I have a few that I use at the shop, and they're so nice for transporting high polished stuff that you don't want to get smacked around when you're moving 3 car fulls of rocks back and forth.
Another good option is diapers.
I could imagine. I could imagine.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. Actually, it caught me off guard.
I've done a few rock shows, and we use a mix between like Crown Royal bags and wrapping paper, but like it seems diapers were just as effective because one, it holds the rock in place because it just adheres and is well padded. I mean, if a child can keep plopping their butt on the ground a bunch of times, it can protect a rock.
I can only imagine like if you're doing like a rock trade and you like put a diaper or a rock in a diaper and like box it up and then send it to someone and they open it like, what the?
Yeah, right.
It'd be really funny to put like a paused copper light in there.
Or do what Bobby Duke did and carve it into the poop emoji.
Oh,
have you guys seen that one? Have you guys not seen that? Bobby Duke took a copper light and carved it into the poop emoji.
I haven't
seen that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's hilarious.
Huh.
Oh yeah, he's literally carved a copper light.
Well done, Bobby Duke.
No, I could send our process for transporting was just stuff as much stuff as we can into gallon bags and then load as many boxes as we can, because like I'll send you guys pictures so that we can maybe pop it up right here.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of stuff to transport and it was a lot of work.
I can imagine.
probably more work than I should have done, honestly, but
no, I understand like packing up and then unpacking and then repacking to take it back to a shop to unpack again. It's a process.
It is. It took forever. It took so long.
I mean, plus side is if you do a successful show like this, less weight that you get to carry back.
That's what it's normally like.
Unless you're really bad and the money that you make, and if you're at a rock show, you go buy more rocks.
Oh so yeah, no, I'm fortunate in that place because I'm literally the only one that sells rocks at the Renfest. Like I am the only rock fossil booth, so I have that market cornered when it comes to the Renfest. But I will go around and see what else is for sale. Like I do skull carving, and that's where I get all of my. There's another vendor that sells antelope and deer, and they'll usually have a cow or two skulls. And that's like the moment we're almost done with day 2, I go over to that booth with some of our earnings, and it's like, all right, this is a business expense because I will be buying some skulls to carve down the road.
But it was a write-off.
No, normally the Renfest, that's why it was kind of like I do not want to sound like it was disappointing because it was so much fun. It's just I was geared for our normal Renfest, which I should not have been, where I bring the same amount of stuff and we hardly bring anything home. I had a lot of repacking to do when we left. Yeah.
No, the important thing is, as long as your booth is paid for.
Yeah, it is. But that was a low bar for $35.
$35.
Yeah. That was an easily achievable bar.
Are there other rock shops in your area that you have to compete with?
Just one. There's only one, and I do not have the room available to compete with them on the same scale. It's not a competition, and I know that personally. Like they get sourced in stuff from all over, and I mean they've got a lot of stuff, and I just don't have the room at my shop to actually bring in that much stuff. So there's 2 of us. We're within 5 blocks of each other, and I doubt either of us really acknowledge the other's existence that much.
I think whenever, sorry,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think whenever I was trying to look it up on Google, find her shop, I think I found them, and I was like, I don't know if this is Theo or not.
Well, yeah, and it's so funny because we both popped up about the same time. My shop's name is Sticks and Stones. Mm-hmm. Their shop's name is Stones and Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I swear this wasn't intentional.
It'd be funny if they named it Break Your Bones.
Right. Nah.
So is there any is there any place online that you'd suggest people to go to buy rocks for good prices?
Well, other than me, but I can't compete with the store that I'm about to talk about. That's the Rock Shed in South Dakota, Keystone, South Dakota. If you find yourself in South Dakota, it is a requirement to go to the Rock Shed. Like, they are the nicest people. They have an insane, like, some pieces of which are like museum grade quality at absolutely unbeatable prices. Like, just fantastic. And they sell everything. I mean, they've got rocks broken down from large chunks. Like, and when I say large, I mean like, well, I only have my show and tell here. That's actually, I mean, okay, so for like half a pound all the way up to like, 15, 20 pound blocks outside in their carts that they have outside. But then they have broken up smaller pieces for tumbling. They sell tumbler grit at a really good price. They have a range of short spectrum and long spectrum UV rocks, which are super cool. They have a bunch of specimens. They have one of the largest collections of Fairburn agates in South Dakota, which is super cool. Like, those things are fantastic. Really nice Fox Hills fossils and stuff like that. Like, they have a little bit of everything. Actually, they sell machinery too. You can buy tumblers, big saws, rock saws from them. Like, they have it all. They are wonderful and best prices, like, period. I have never found another rock shop that has prices the way the Rock Shed does. They are wonderful.
And I believe you did a video on that, didn't you?
I did, and I will send a link to you so that you can put it in the description. Yeah, I pretty much did a little tour of the Rock Shed, and it's magical. It's a wonderful place. Give me a break, because that is an older video. So don't roast me in the comments, please.
I think if anyone's gonna roast you, if anyone's gonna roast anyone, it's gonna be roasting me for being very unorganized tonight.
We're all unorganized.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Here, but not present.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Do you think the Ren Fair is going to be normal next year, or do you think it's going to?
I hope. I'm pretty certain that things will be going back to normal by next year, as far as like events and stuff. It's been, I don't know, all summer it was just totally normal. The reason it got canceled last year was, the big C word, obviously, but it's been pretty normal for the majority of the entire year in Montana. Like, the cases have been pretty slow. So I'm hoping that so long as nothing crazy happens and there's not like some Delta 5 virus strain that comes out and we get thrown into lockdown again, it should be happening again next year. I've got my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I hope so. Yeah, same.
Seriously.
So with Halloween coming up, are you going to be wearing some chainmail for us? I could that metal.
I could probably come in costume for you guys. I think I'd do it for you guys.
I had went and bought a Bob Ross wig, and I got home. I tried it on. I did not look good in that wig. It was not floofy enough. It was kind of flat.
That's in the picture.
I didn't even take a picture. It was awful. It did not look good. And because one of those things, like, I went to the Halloween store, bought the wig. I'm like, okay, they didn't really have clothes my size because I'm not a small guy. Like, the biggest size they had was an XL. I'm like, I need at least 2X. Like, so went to the store, got a wig, walked 2 stores down to another store, got a button-up shirt that was like a bluish color. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I might be able to pull this off. I tried on the wig first. I'm like, this ain't gonna happen. I went and returned everything the following day. I'm like, yeah, this didn't. But to be fair, like, even Amy said, like, okay, she tried it on too, and she like, so funny. I should have taken pictures. Like, it would at least gotten a giggle out of everybody. But she even said that the wig was kind of small. So I'm glad it wasn't just me. But still, like, yeah, I was really hoping to be kind of like Bob Ross for Halloween, but like the wig and the shirt. But it just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Me and Alexis had a depressing conversation the other day. For me, not for her. But she's like, so what are we going to be for Halloween? And I was like, it literally doesn't matter what I am for Halloween. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, you you work at a place where you are encouraged to dress up for Halloween because, you know, you're assistant manager of an Ace Hardware where you're walking around helping people. So you're all in costume. It makes sense for you. I'm a shut-in. I don't go places because I'm very antisocial and very socially awkward. So I only stay at my shop, rock hunting, and, you know, the house. So I don't do anything on Halloween, nor do we have children. So I really don't do anything on Halloween. And there's no kids on my block, so we don't get trick-or-treaters. So I could pick a costume and go to work by myself and just hang out in costume, but there's very little point for me to get dressed up. And she's like, wow, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. I was like, I know.
Sounds great to me. When I was working in retail, I hated holidays. Having to wear like costumes for Halloween or Santa hats for Christmas. I hate dressing up.
I love Halloween just because you can go so stupid with it, and that's like one of my favorite things about it. Like I kept trying to convince Alexis last year that we should be Rick and Morty, just because she was not about to humor that.
I mean, you get a pickle suit and it's called good.
One year she kept saying that we need to do a couple's costume. She's like, okay, well, help me think of what a good couple costume would be. I'm like, how about a pair of shoes? It's like, what? I was like, yeah, we make like giant wire frame, obnoxiously huge pair of like Converse All-Stars. And she's like, God, I hate you so much.
It's like, hey, you asked.
Yeah, you want a couple's costume? We're going in shoes.
Oh man. I mean, if she works at like a hardware store, she can dress up as Tim the Toolman Taylor, Bob the Builder. I'm probably missing a couple, but those are the two that stick out the most.
Last year, she just wore her normal clothes and Ace Hardware vest, but with a Darth Vader helmet, and it was the funniest thing ever.
That's funny.
It was fantastic, and I loved it.
Yeah,
Simple.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't really have a costume for this year. And so the thing is, like, I went from working property management to working in memory care, and so I'm used to wearing all black all the time. And I had to switch gears. I'm like, okay, I can't wear all black all the time because then I just look like I work for death. And I'm like, okay, I need to start wearing like actual colors. So I go from wearing all black to darker gray and then lighter gray pants. But I can probably get creative like for like holiday. I can almost be Santa Claus for Halloween. I'm sure
yeah, exactly.
It'd probably make all the elderly in the home in the facility happy.
Yeah, they'd probably love that.
Yep.
But yeah, I should get more creative because now we have a child, should dress up more. Oh, Theo, where'd you go?
Disappeared.
Am I gone?
Yeah,
You are.
Are you getting?
Sorry, I was trying to look at something. How do I get back? How do I get back?
There he is.
There it is. Okay.
There you are.
I just had a random thought, so I was going to check it. I was like, what day of the week is Halloween? It's not Thursday.
It's
Sunday.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
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 Oh, I could be Fat Thor. I got the gut.
I thought we're going to keep this to an hour, and we've spent the whole time talking about random stuff. It's like, I don't think we're going to make it an hour at this point. It's fine.
It's okay. We can go ahead and jump into show and tell.
Sure.
Lead the way.
For real quick, I'm gonna go back to the beginning to future projects. With being October, I have a couple ideas. I'm gonna try and do for a couple of videos for Halloween theme. So look forward to that. That'll be interesting if it actually works out.
But you just gave me an idea.
I was going to do a pumpkin video, but I do one every year, and no one ever watches them, so I don't think I'm going to do one this year.
Theo, don't steal my thunder.
Okay.
Like a pumpkin carving.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, I did a normal like relief carving of a pumpkin, or like a super detailed face. And then last year, I literally carved a pumpkin with my rotary tool. And I think after a year, it still doesn't have 1,000 views. No. So I'm like, all right, clearly my viewers don't care about this.
You can probably like still do pumpkin carving, or you can carve a one of the dark themed.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, don't give any of that away yet, Kyle.
I mean,
time out. I'm actually doing that. Not even joking. Probably not for Halloween, but I am casting.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm super. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Kyle,
I was like, what now? How do you know this?
It's funny you mentioned that because I was going to do a 2D Obsidian.
Dude, we should coordinate. Post the same day.
What's happening?
Just make everyone confused. Sorry, we can on time.
Okay.
Man, we've had so many pauses this episode.
Oh, I know. And
I'm
I
trying to
thought it
keep
was going to
track.
be an easy edit.
Oh, man.
Well,
All right.
anyways,
Yeah.
for the show and tell, I was going through the box of trays I've gotten in the past, and I decided for show and tell, I was going to show this piece of Druzy quartz that Dustin sent me from Missouri. But for a future video, it has some really beautiful. Let's see if I find a good side. It has some really beautiful lacing going around the outer edges. So I was going to try and take it on my flat lap and just kind of polish this area where the lace shows and so forth. So that's my show and tell. But I think it's going to turn out really beautiful once I get it polished, as long as it fits on the flat lap.
No, yeah, that still takes a really beautiful polish too.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, I still have the polished ones that he gave me, but I did some for one of his subscribers, and it's beautiful stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll turn out beautiful.
Oh, it will. There's no sure about it. It will. Do you have anything else?
For show and telling out, that's all that I have for today. What about you, Dave?
I have.
Kyle,
I remembered this time. I remembered that I'm Dave. That Dave means Theo. Okay, we got this. It was hard to pick show and tell because I've been making so much stuff over the last month and a half. So I just decided to go with the most recent thing, which was for Monday. This is what I was talking about earlier. I remembered, which I'm proud of. And that is, I have been prepping some Ammonite. This is just sealed and it's not fully. Here, can we get closer?
So shiny.
so beautiful.
It's not even flashing for you guys.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, there we
see
go.
the
There's some
dragon
yellow.
scale flash.
It's so pretty. I wish I had my flashlight with me because it's some gorgeous stuff, but it's really, you're not even seeing a fraction of
Here
the
you go,
color.
Theo.
Well, there's there. Turn it on. Let's see if this works. I sent pictures and a clip, so I'm sure those are playing right now as I speak. But you guys have seen it, so I guess I can not worry so much. But
The power of editing.
And then we've got this one right here, which has some phenomenal color. This one doesn't have that dragon scale effect, but my gosh, it's so pretty. Just vivid
That's
greens.
beautiful.
I love this thing. It's so nice.
I feel like there's a lot of stones that are kind of underrated because I feel like ammonites are very beautiful. You get all the colors, and I don't think they get enough attention.
Ammonite needs more love. Period. End of story. It is I think I've said it multiple times. I don't know about the podcast, but on my channel, I say it very regularly that Ammonite is above and beyond my favorite rock. It's just crazy stuff. I'm going to need to send you guys pieces because it looks so different in person than it would in any video or picture. It's just magical. It's so cool. I love it so much. Sorry. Anyway, I get lost in this stuff. If you keep seeing me look over during the podcast, it's because I'm staring at this stuff and it's gorgeous. So what I was talking about earlier, about how you could stop at lower grits with these is because you don't actually polish them. And the reason for that is they are extremely soft. The color flash is actually a cause of microscopic hexagonal crystals of aragonite. And those stack in a way that diffract light and cause a rainbow pattern. So this is really just, it's super soft stuff because of that. It's not fit for jewelry in its current state. Before you can start polishing it, you have to soak it with I use cyanoacrylate because it's like thin as water, but it's like a super hard curing glue. So you can flush it and it'll soak in like in any cracks and stuff, and that stabilizes it into one piece. And then you make it flat so that all the color shows best. And then you make a dome with doming resin. It's called jeweler's glass. And it's a resin that is self-doming, glass clear, and cures extremely hard. So you don't actually need to polish these. And in fact, it's better if you don't, because the more texture it has, like there's a balance. Like 600, 800 grit is where you want to go with it. Because if it's too loose, you'll see all those, or too low, you'll see all the scratch patterns. But if it's too high, you can literally pop the resin off of the stone.
Wow.
Because
those are also really thin to work. Like ammonites are very thin, so you have to be very careful when you work it. It is
extremely thin stuff. Yeah, like trying to see, because this piece already is thin. Like here, if I get behind the wall, it's a thin piece already.
Yeah,
only about a third of that thickness is the shell layer.
Wow,
gotcha.
So it is extremely thin stuff. When you find more thin pieces like this, this one's probably thick enough that I don't need to, but generally speaking, the majority of the time you need to back them because they're just paper thin, super, super thin. Like this one is a good example.
So I hold it up 64th of an inch.
Sorry. I'm trying to.
Maybe that's too small.
There we go. Do you see the shell?
Yep.
That little finger here?
Yeah.
Right here? That is the entire shell layer.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So you have a tiny little room to work with, and there's a lot of room for error. So you can't dome them the way you would with a cabochon. You have to make
keep it flat.
And they're super soft. So yeah. So it almost feels like cheating in a way because you don't actually have to work these the way you would anything else in the world.
Have you done a video on using that jeweler's resin?
I have in the past. I'll try to find a link to send to you, but I'm working on these in an upcoming video, so I'm probably going to be doing it again.
We can always update the description later.
Yeah, there you go. Well, actually, I will send you that one because I'm just going to be doing it in this video when this comes out. But I am in that video that I was just referring. That's the whole video is me showing you how to use the stuff. Because you do the same process with nacreous shells. So like mussel shells or like oysters, abalone. You can use the same method with any shell. So
interesting.
I do the whole video talking about that. But it doesn't end there. Because we have this.
And what is that?
Piece.
Monstrous thing. It is a wedge from an Ammonite. And if you look, that was a massive Ammonite. That was a big Ammonite.
That's crazy.
With that curve, I mean, the thing would have just... that was going to be a big boy. Anyway, though, it gets even better. It's not just a wedge of a big Ammonite.
There's more.
There's more.
Lots more.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it wet without also making a mess, and I think I've just come to the conclusion that that's not going to happen. Let's embrace the mess.
There you go.
I don't know how well it's going to show, but this entire piece is covered in ammonite.
I see it.
And I haven't prepped this yet at all. So all of this lighter colored stuff in here, I will remove all of that. And literally this entire thing will have a good shine to it like these pieces. Oh, it's so exciting.
Let's make one very big necklace.
Right. Let's tell you guys. I was talking about how nice of a specimen this is going to make, and Lexus is like, "Well, why would anyone be interested in a piece like just a piece of an ammonite?" I was like, "Well, because it's a gorgeous specimen and it has a bunch of ammonite." She's like, "Well, yeah, but why wouldn't you just cut it up into smaller pieces for jewelry?" And I was like, "I have smaller pieces for jewelry. This makes a better specimen." She's like, "Man, I don't get you rock people." It's like, why would you sell one specimen when you could make like 50 pieces of jewelry out of it? Like, because it's rare to find one this size. And she's like, I still don't get it.
Yeah, keep it in one piece.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so if you find a 1 pound high flash precious opal, you're not going to cut it up into 6 different pieces. You leave that thing exactly how it is.
Yep.
You know, it's the same concept. She's like, nah, you can't make as much jewelry if you leave it alone. You rock people are weird.
It could be its own piece, though.
I get it. Like, even with my large fire obsidian pieces, I try to work with the shape of the stone and not have as much waste. And like the big piece I did not that long ago, I was hoping to do one big piece until I saw that fracture. I'm like, now I have to cut it along that fracture.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I could easily make several pendants out of that one big chunk, but I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, I think there's a difference when we're talking about jewelry rough and specimen grade. You know, I think that those are 2 different things. Like, these are pretty specimens, but they're absolutely not like right home about specimens. They're where the way and shape they are currently, they're perfect for getting into jewelry, like to make it into like a pendant, or I could cut that one in half and it would make 2 beautiful rings. But something this big, it's like, you don't see giant chunks of ammonite like this very often.
No.
You know, it's a slap in the face to the gods of ammonite to cut that up.
Yeah. You rock people understand.
Yeah.
Did you have any more awesome show and tell?
I don't. That's all I have this week. I normally bring multiple stuffs, but I didn't. I feel like I'm lacking today.
It's okay.
Not as bad as me.
I'm just gonna put these away right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna fiddle with them. The more I fiddle, the more likely they break.
Yep. True story.
Yeah, as I have done on this podcast before.
Actually, that's a good point. Let me see if I get it. No, I ain't gonna fit there. Okay.
I've been fiddling with the crystal in my hand for like 20 minutes, and I was like, I gotta set it over here.
Usually I fiddle with this pen in my hand because I'm writing notes. So my show and tell is my pendant that I did. And I don't know if I can get the... Hold on. Tucker, you went out? Yeah, hang on 1 second.
You're good. It's all good.
Yeah, it was in 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah, my show and tell is my fire obsidian pen that I did. I don't know if the... Oh, yeah, you can get a little color there.
Oh my gosh.
That's so beautiful. I have not watched the video yet. I saw you, Kyle.
Hold on.
Is it okay?
Face and
oh my gosh. We were just talking about that too.
There we go.
That is why I am wrapping my stuff up right now. Oh, that is so pretty. I gotta send you that piece.
Again, I'll put another video clip up a bit better. A better video clip. Oh my gosh. I'll put a bit.
We'll put a clip better video up somewhere.
Yeah, I'll put a better clip up. But yeah, so that I'm glad that's done. I'm still gonna get all my other projects done, so I can work on a really big piece of fire obsidian. But this has been my my to-do list for a long time because I miss wearing it. For one, for two, I always like the compliments that I get when people do notice it. Because at times, like you're looking at it, looks like a black stone. It's just that light catches it just right. Like, oh, what is that? But yeah, that was my show and tell, quick and easy. And now we can move on to words of wisdom. Kurt, what do you got?
Oh, jeez.
Catch you off guard.
Let's see.
I can go first if you like.
Sure. Sometimes when y'all go first, it helps something just like pop up in my head.
Yeah, I got one too.
Oh, well, Theo, if you want to go first, you can go too.
Oh, yeah, that works. I guess my words of wisdom would be remember to stretch your legs. And that may sound weird, but hear me out. So I'm not talking about literally stretching your legs. What I mean is don't get too comfortable doing one thing at a time. Like, especially after all of the work I've been doing for getting ready for the Ren Fest. Like I was saying earlier, one day I'm carving rock. The next day I'm prepping fossils. The next day I'm polishing abalones. The next day I'm making conch shell horns. Then the next day I'm polishing mussel shells. Like, it's just all over the place. And it feels so good when you're just jumping back and forth between stuff. So if you are getting into a swing where you're just like, all you're doing is cabbing, or all you're doing is wire wrapping, or all you're doing is this, that, or the other thing, cutting slabs or whatever, remember to stretch your legs. Like, get around and do some other stuff, because it's so satisfying to just bounce back and forth between projects. Like, I honestly love it so much.
No.
I don't even mean like while they're still going. Like, finish one project and then go do something else, but it feels so good to just be doing something different every time.
That's very relatable, because there's been times where I'm working on a bunch of Obsidian and I'm getting frustrated because, it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And Obsidian takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. So when I go polish an agate, it's like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you forget, like, oh, that's right, I forgot this polish is really quick. And so you can just like bust 10 pieces out like it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go back to working on on something else, and so yeah, that's a good one.
I'd like to say I planned that ahead of time, but I came unprepared with a word of wisdom this week.
It happens.
Like most weeks, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Spur of the moment.
Yep.
Kurt, did you?
Sure. I figured out something to say.
Cool.
And it kind of goes with Theo's, and it kind of also goes with what we were talking about earlier. When you're either using a lapidating machine or carving or polishing by hand or whatnot, and a problem comes up where the stone either cracks or breaks, work around it and reform it, and just keep going and keep the creativity going. And when you're done, it's going to turn out even better than before.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what you can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
I got a test piece. I was one of my very first few pieces of Obsidian that I worked was supposed to be a test piece, just to kind of see how the material works, and it ended up it's still on my shelf. That's another good one. You never know what you're gonna get. And then I guess my words of wisdom I wrote down here because so always invest in what you love to do. And it can be something small, it can be something big. Over the period of time, you can actually build something up pretty easily. Oh, not pretty easily, but you can build something up like over a long period of time. For example, I started off with my YouTube channel with just my phone, but now I have lights. I have a computer set up. Of course, it was a gift, but I have a microphone here. I'm starting to get working on getting a new tripod, and I'm finding there's a lot of really cool camera equipment out there, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting them. One of them is actually a really cool. It's like a tripod wheelbase, so you can actually put your camera on this wheelbase, and you can just like kind of like scoot it around.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be really great, especially if I do like tours, like even at work, I can actually utilize that in different settings, and I can just do like a virtual tour where it's gonna be a nice smooth action, so you're not seeing me like kind of walking around. Because me personally, I can tell if someone has, oh gosh, the auto sensor on your phone where it tries to autocorrect when you're walking.
I hate those. I had to scrap 2 different videos from Florida because mine is too sensitive. when it tries to auto stabilize. So what you want, instead of it being nice and smooth, you get like jitters, like it like chugs almost, because it's like trying to stabilize your movement.
Or if, or even if your phone is like sitting still and you're not moving, if the auto stabilizes on, you can kind of see it kind of move a little bit.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't. Just...
I think the only cameras I've ever seen that have good hyper smooth is the GoPro. I think the first one was Hero 7. Hero Black 7, and then all of them since then they've got hyper smooth option, and it really is hyper smooth. It's super nice.
Good to know, because
I've got if you're getting one, get a Hero Black 8. They're so good. That's what I'm currently using because my 7 died, but luckily it died within like 1 week of my 1 year warranty. So nice. And they were sold out of the Hero Black 7. So I got a Hero Black 8 with store credit, which was super awesome.
Nice.
And it's awesome. Like the hyper smooth, especially when you're out like rock hunting, it's really easy to get jerky and jittery with your footage. That footage is so butter smooth. I love it. It makes me so happy.
That's good to know, because at some point I want to get a drone too. So
I want a drone so bad.
It's like you start down here and then you start getting more and more and more. It's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that I have now that I have an entire production thing, I want drones. I want better cameras. I want an assistant.
I'm looking at getting a new camera soon too, because the downside to GoPros is you can't do close-ups.
Oh, that sucks.
They have a fixed focus lens, which means anything that gets within 2 feet of the camera lens is going out of focus. Which sucks. But so yeah, I'm trying to look into I think I'm gonna get a Canon M50. I'm chit chatting again. We're trying to do outros, and I'm like, so anyway.
No big deal.
You all forgot, all you viewers at home, you forgot what having Theo around looks like, and it's useless nonsense.
And it's only 3 of us. Yep. It's okay. We've all missed you.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's going to end show and tell then, and a little, words of wisdom and everything else. And for those that want to submit for show and tell, be sure to email us pictures. Email goes to rockhoundroundtable@gmail.com. And we're still compiling pictures, so get us your pictures, awesome stories, and we'll get stuff compiled together so we can make volume 3 of viewer show and tell. But again, let us know where you're from, and we're gonna double down next week for who was where for last week's video, because shame on Kyle for not stepping up to the game.
That's not just you.
Yeah, it's okay. No big deal. It's the beginning of fall. We've fallen a little bit. It's fine. But yeah, just let us know. And if you guys have questions, comments, let us know in the comment section or send us an email. One of us will get it, and one of us will address it. But also, if you have suggestions of who you'd like to have on the podcast, let us know in the comment section. Or you can even email us if you want to have it be incognito. No matter what, just let us know. And that's going to do it for today. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Rock on.